Welcome. I'm not even sure if this looks the right way around to you. It's not the right way around to me looking at it in the screen, but it's a modified Christmas in July. And I know Wendy's very organised. She's wearing a Christmas apron. And I walked in from work 25 minutes ago, so I wasn't quite so organised. But there we go. Merry Christmas in July. And thank you so much for coming along today to join us. Just a couple of things I just want to go through. So I know we have Verena on here who is hosting, which is fantastic. And just remember, everybody, it's a really great option to host. She's after the glider board. So I thought I'd better show you what the glider board looks like. So here it is. I'll get my Merry Christmas out of the way. So this is the glider board here. And it sits underneath your Thermomix because the scales are very sensitive and you never want to drag your Thermomix. So you can lift it, or with the glider board, you lift up at the front and you just glide it like this. And then if I put it down and push, it doesn't move. Okay, so that is one of the host rewards for this month. And one of the extra host rewards for this month. We always have thermo service, which keep your food warm for up to 2 hours. And we have bread mats. And the other host reward, which I've actually had someone redeem today, which is exciting, is some money off the amazing vacuum cleaner that Paul Burke also makes. So just be mindful, those are on. Our gift with purchase this month is a book called Simply Delicious, which is a lot of money saving recipes. It actually quotes how much per portion each recipe is in it. Also a rose gold pizza tray and a rose gold muffin tray. All right, because we've got a couple of people on here who haven't seen Thermomix before, I'm just going to run through it very quickly and then we'll get going. All right, so this is our beautiful TM6. The lovely thing about it is quite big screen. We have 3 dials. We have time, temperature, and speed. Whichever one of these dials is large, you turn up with this silver knob. So I can turn my time up there, my temperature, everything up to 120. Oops, is on a thermostat. So like you're heating, it goes up and clicks off. And if you want to steam in here, which you can using the Varoma, you need to be on Varoma temperature. So the Varoma is this thing here, which I used to steam my vegetables last night, which was very good. And it just sits on top, and it has 2 layers, so you can steam fish or chicken or something on the top and fill the bottom with veggies. That's our Varoma. Okay. What else have I got in here? Then this one, I'll just turn that one down. This one is your speed, and you'll notice as we get going that as soon as you turn your Thermomix on, the little arms up here lock the lid in place. And if the lid can't be locked in place, then it won't start. Okay, we've got one set of blades in here. They have a sharp side and a rounded side. And so if you want to chop, so think about a risotto, you want to chop your onions, but you don't want to chop your rice, so it actually goes on to reverse and just stirs. We've also got a whole lot of modes here. We have a new modes demo being released, and if you're interested in learning more about these modes, we can absolutely talk about that. But we've got scales, we've got dough mode, which is a kneading function. 2 minutes of kneading in here is equivalent to 25 minutes of kneading by hand. Turbo is just super fast, and Pearl might even use that at the end of her. She's making us a lovely dip tonight. Well, we're going to look at the lovely dip and not be able to eat it, but she's making that, and that's a great way to clean the blades at the end. A pre-clean, this is amazing. So the pre-clean allows us to get the Thermomix clean. It has various settings, so depending on what settings you use and what you've made in your Thermomix, you can do different types of cleans. We've got an automatic blend. This is one of my favorites. The egg boiler. You can pop up to 6 eggs with a litre of water in here, and you can decide, do you want them soft, medium hard, or hard boiled, and just put it on, walk away, and it's done. Kettle mode, whoops, We've got a warm-up mode, fantastic for reheating. So in our new modes demo, one of the dishes that we make is a hollandaise sauce. You can reheat your hollandaise sauce in this warm-up mode. We've got thicken mode. Actually, I'm going to use thicken mode tonight. We've got a rice cooker. We've got fermentation, so you can make your own yogurts. We've got slow cooking and sous vide. And we have a peeler. And what the peeler does is it will peel your potatoes for you. It will peel your garlic for you. It will peel, I'm not sure what else other people have done, but those are the things that I've done in it. So that's a really cool function. And then we've also got cookie dough. So if I swipe this way, and I will show you a little bit of cookie dough later, a little bit more, it'll be easier to see. But we have access to over, if we want to look at recipes from all around the world, 80,000 recipes from all around the world in here. And but what we're going to do is we'll get started cooking, and we are going to, first of all, oh, before that, actually, I must tell you a quick little story. So today I called someone who purchased a Thermomix last Saturday, and the reason she purchased is because she doesn't cook. She's a stay-at-home mum. She doesn't cook. Her husband works long hours, and he comes home and he cooks. So he was there as well. And what he wanted, he said, what I really want is it for it to be really easy. She just lost all her confidence. So this morning I gave her a call. Oh no, 4 seconds. I would do probably a couple of minutes, Vicky. Yeah, so I gave her a call today, and her Thermomix had arrived yesterday. And she said, oh my goodness, we made meat sauce last night, and I made porridge this morning, and I've just made soda bread for lunch. So that to me is a massive win. It makes, you know, that's why we are here doing this, because we can see the difference it makes in people's lives. And for me, that really gets me in my heart, because I can see for that family, it's a game changer. So anyway, had to share that little story. All right, so we are going to go to the lovely Wendy, who is going to show us about making beef Wellingtons.
Hi there, everyone. I'm just going to turn my camera down a little bit just so you can see my ingredients. Now, I have pre-made quite a bit of this already, otherwise we could be here for a little while. It's a really good dish to make for Christmas in July, or even for Christmas normal time, even if you're having guests around for a dinner party, because you can make it in advance and it does hold really well. This is the mushroom mix that you need to make. It does look a little bit gross at the moment, but the taste and the flavour in here is delicious. So basically, the recipe's on Cookadoo. It was portobello mushrooms. I just had the flat mushrooms I had in the fridge, some dried zucchini mushrooms. I had shiitake mushrooms, soaked those in boiling water for 15 minutes. Basically added them together with some shallots and some butter, a garlic clove, and sauteed them for 3 minutes. Then we added some 50 grams of, I added some masala wine because I didn't have anything else in. Thanks, Mandy. Added some salt and pepper and 2 sprigs of thyme, just the leaves only. Again, sauteed them for 40 minutes on speed 1, and it came up with this gorgeous mixture here. So basically what we do with this goes on the base of the steak and on top of the steak once we put it onto the pastry. So this went in the fridge overnight. So I did this yesterday. You can prolong for 10 minutes if necessary, if you do find there's a little bit of liquid left. I think I did it for an extra 3 minutes because there was a little bit of liquid, just till it's evaporated. So that was done yesterday, and it kept beautifully in the fridge overnight. From that, I got some eye fillet from the supermarket, and just have to make sure they're about 4 or 5 centimeters thick and not too big. Otherwise, the ratio of the pastry to the steak will be too small. Because with the pastry, we're going to make sure that they come into nice squares and that it wraps around the meat really well. So I'm just going to transfer you over a little bit, and whether you can see, just move some of my Christmas decorations.
That's great. We can see really well. Thanks, Wendy.
Yeah, is that good? Okay. So I rolled out the pastry, and it was a little bit sticky. So I did add a little bit more flour after it had been in the fridge for 20 minutes. And they basically say to put it into a square shape and to trim it a little bit. If you do have one of the pastry mats, don't use the sharp knife on there because you will ruin the mat. Just make with the plastic knife. What we then do is we scoop, it says 1/8 of the mixture, so about so much, onto the pastry into the center, and then the piece of steak will go on to the center. Now we're going to go, now this has dried up a little bit, just because it's been out in the air. Another spoonful of the mushroom mixture onto the top and pat it down. And then we're just going to fold corner to corner. And it is breaking a little bit, so just fold it in nicely, tuck in each sides. And then we're creating a little bit of an envelope as we go. We're trying to seal all the pastry together. Now I'm not too concerned of the little crack here because it will be going upside down onto the baking tray. So just giving it an egg wash. And I've just realized I put the baking tray in the oven. So I'll just get another one.
Has anyone tried this recipe already? If so, just pop it in the chat.
So I've brushed with peanut oil. And I have cooked 3 already, so this tin's a little bit dirty, but has just come out of the oven. Now, once you've egg washed, it then wants you to place this back into the fridge for another 30 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do now. And we'll set it for 30 minutes. And then after that, it goes into the oven for about, depending on how you like your meat, 20 minutes for rare, 25 minutes for medium rare, and 30 minutes for well cooked. And then it says to start the jus. So this is going to go into the fridge. Once it was to come out of the fridge, then you start cooking the steak and you'd start the jus. I've already pre-cooked some. So on my next step, I'll be making the jus. Is that correct, Mandy?
I think you can start that now.
I can start that now? Okay, so
Yep.
I'm just going to pop this into the fridge. I have one cooking.
I'm quite excited about this because I've never made it. It looks fantastic. And is that a gluten-free pastry, Wendy?
Yes, I've made it gluten-free. The only difference I did, so I used gluten-free flour. I just added a teaspoon of xanthan gum.
Yeah.
And then it bound really well. So, and I followed the recipe as it was in Cookadoo. All right, so with the jus, it just says it turned off, no?
Still on.
I'm just going to have to come around and just get up to the steps. So fast forward.
So the other way you can do that is look at the recipe detail and just click on the step.
Oh, can you actually just click on it?
You can.
Oh, I didn't know that. There we
Yeah.
go. Fancy that. You learn something new.
You do.
That's what's good about being a consultant, hey?
It is fantastic.
All right. So 50 grams of shallots halved. Now, I didn't have 50 grams in the fridge or in the cupboard, so I've cheated and got a little bit of onion. Again, guided cooking, that's what's great about it. It also wants you to have 1 garlic clove and a sprig of fresh thyme. So that's all going in the bowl. And insert the lid and measuring cup. And 2 seconds.
You see how the lid was locked in place there? Ooh, looks amazing.
Really nice. Can you see that?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, no, that's really good. Great angle.
Yeah. I keep improvising every time. And then 50 grams of butter, all diced. Good tip not to lean over the bowl while you've got onions in there. And
Or
without
chili.
the measuring cup. Or chili, yes. For 4 minutes, it's just going to saute. I know it's going to have aroma. Okay. For 4 minutes, it's just going to cook all that together. Normally, it would. I was expecting saute on that, but it's actually on aroma speed. So
yeah, cool, fantastic. All right, we're going to move over to Helen whilst that's happening. And Helen is making the most festive thing tonight, I think.
Yes, I'm going to make a Christmas punch. Welcome to my kitchen. I decided to do the Christmas punch because it's winter and we all need a nice cozy warm drink. So just tilt down to my Thermomix and we'll get started. So start cooking. This is going to be really quick to begin with because it's going to do a 9-minute cook. So we're going to put in 750 grams of red wine. I'm just using a Cabernet Sauv that was in the throwaway bin at Dan Murphy's. So it does say you don't have to use an expensive wine because all the flavors will be incorporated with all the spices. So don't worry about it being too expensive. A little bit short, but that was a 750 gram bottle. Anyway, next step is 70 grams of brown sugar. 1 cinnamon stick and pop the lid on. Here's my lid. Lid on, and we're going to set that off for 9 minutes at 100 degrees. It's going to do on reverse speed too. So I'll set that going and you'll come back to me a bit later on.
Will do, thank you. I think I put Wendy next, but I'm sure we haven't had 4 minutes, so come back to me. And I'm going to make, I'm making a couple of dishes tonight. So I'm making, just using the saute function, the high heat for cooking some broccoli. And I'm also making a custard. So, and part of the custard, it's a peanut butter and chocolate custard. I'd never made this before, but at that demo I was talking about on Saturday, the host had made this. I didn't taste it, but it looked amazing. And she said she serves it up at the dinner party all the time. And I thought with Christmas, it's you can use custard in a trifle, and it just looks like it's a really cool dessert. But the other thing I did make for it is a little bit of peanut brittle. So this is the only chunk of it I've got left. I took a whole heap to work and that got consumed. But this is using the high heat. So we're using the high heat for the broccoli, and I've used the high heat for this. So as you saw before, the temperature, maximum temperature is a barometer temperature, which is actually 120 degrees. But in guided cooking, you can access 160 degrees. That means that we can brown our meat, we can caramelize our onions, we can do sugar stages like this. This is, the peanut brittle. You can make honeycomb. Wendy did that, I know, earlier this year in a class. And you can make caramel and things like that. So the high heat is fantastic from that perspective, and it is going to saute the broccoli. I'm just going to call out to Wendy. Wendy, you let me know when you're ready for your next stage. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. So we might go to Wendy before I actually start these things, but so with the custard is actually going to use the thickening mode. So the thickening mode on the Thermomix is used for sauces like bechamel sauce, the custards. So your bechamel sauce, there's none of this standing over the stove top and melting your butter and making a roux and then standing there and stirring. You just chuck everything in together. It's the same with the gravy, chuck them all in together, and the Thermomix will use the thicken mode and make that for you. It's just super easy. All right, so I can actually see a whole lot of steam coming out of the top of Wendy's Thermomix. So we might go back to her because she's just about ready, I think. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I couldn't see my screen for the steam. Okay, now that looks beautiful and smells delicious. Okay, so we're going to add 100 grams of pork. Now, I'm not a pork connoisseur, so being budget conscious, I just went for the cheap one, thinking we're going to cook with it anyway. So I'm sorry if I offend anyone with that, but yeah, I don't know how it tastes. So I'm just going to cancel that again. I'm doing this all upside down. So 100 grams of pork. Seems quite a lot, doesn't it? There we go. And then 150 grams of red wine. I'm not sure how it goes with that driving with this sauce, Mandy.
I reckon it'll heat it all up and the alcohol will be burnt off.
Will evaporate?
Right, yeah. But you're not driving anywhere anyway, so.
No, I'm not. Wonder how it goes with the kids.
Well, you can report back on that.
Oh, a little bit over, but that's okay. Oh, and then the beef stock hot. Okay. I forgot to put the kettle on. Do you want to come back to me?
Sure. Okay.
Actually.
Yeah. Okay. So
You're good.
You're good?
I just haven't got it out of the cupboard.
All right.
Can you actually make the beef stock with the Thermomix? That's the only one I haven't done.
You can.
You can?
Yes, you can make beef stock. It's called meat stock paste or
Okay.
something.
Would that just be out of the bones or?
No, it is some meat. We'll find it when we go into Cookie Do. We'll have a look. So yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, we can make vegetable stock paste, we can make chicken stock paste, and we can make meat stock paste. And there are various powders you can make as well if you dehydrate it in your oven or you've got a dehydrator.
And then 20 grams of balsamic vinegar. And 35 grams of brown sugar. Again, just making sure we cancel the tear as we go along. And place the steaming basket instead of the measuring cup back on the lid. So we place the lid on, steaming basket on, and then this is going to cook for 40 minutes, again on varoma.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. All right, come back to. So thanks, Wendy. So the simmering basket is put on sometimes to allow for evaporation. It's just if we don't have the simmering basket on, we have the measuring cup, and that's got well, it has a few little holes around the side, but the simmering basket allows for more evaporation. All right, and if anybody noticed, the bottom of Wendy's, the other side of Wendy's lid was a little bit green. And it goes a little bit green if you have turmeric or a lot of tomato-y based things. You just pop it out in the sunshine, and that will get it back to this. All right, so I'm going to start with the custard. So to find that, I put it into my week. So I'm going to click on here, my week. And where's my custard? Oh, that's the peanut. We probably can't see very well. Peanut brittle. Anyway, we have peanut butter and chocolate custard. And we're going to start cooking. So it says place a bowl on the mixing bowl lid. That's there. And then weigh in 50 grams of dark chocolate. Moving around. Okay. There we go. Set the bowl aside. 40 to 50 grams of raw sugar to taste. I'm going to do 40, roughly 40. And I have also the next thing, the scales are just moving around because I'm moving, is 15 grams of corn flour. So I'm going to put all of this in together. That's my sugar and my corn flour. 500 grams of milk. I've just got my milk here. I'm just going to pour in the top. Oh, 518 grams of milk. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I'm just using this Queen's vanilla. That in there. 2 eggs. Which are here. Okay. And then I'm just going to put the measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid. And in a mo, I'm going to turn that on. So can you see this little jug? This is the thickening mode. Hasn't set a time. It's going to go up to 80 degrees. But it will set the time as soon as I turn it. I'm not going to turn it right at the minute because I've got to actually get the broccoli going in the next door Thermomix. So, and then I'll get them both going at the same time. So this is 10 minutes. This is 7 minutes on this one. So with the broccoli, again, I'm going into my week. And I'm doing the broccoli saute TM6 metric. Start cooking. 2 to 3 garlic cloves sliced. I've done 2, so I've just literally sliced them up like that. 15 grams of olive oil, the copperam olive oil. I've got 2 people coming in. Okay, 15 grams of olive oil, the arm workout. There we go. I'm not putting the chili flakes in because we're obviously not eating this tonight. I'm not eating at 9 o'clock with broccoli. I'm going to use it in a recipe that I'm making tomorrow. So I'm not going to pop the chili in because it doesn't quite go with the rest of the recipe. And I'm putting in my broccoli. So the broccoli is, there's a whole heap of broccoli, really good greens. Now, at the moment, as we know, vegetables can be very expensive, and Irene was posting photos in our chat group today. So there are, if you can get frozen vegetables, they're often a little bit cheaper at the moment. Okay. So I've got a little bit under my 400 grams, but that's okay. Salt to taste. Yeah. Salt going in. Go. And this time I'm going to put the splash guard on. So the splash guard is, this is only used when you're having a high heat recipe. So when I made the peanut brittle today, I had the splash guard on, and it just literally doing exactly as it says. It's stopping it from splashing on. So I'm going to turn my custard on. So that's all ready to go. I'm just going to turn this knob, and that's set it at 10 minutes. And I'm going to click done on here. And this is going to cook. There's another little symbol on here. This is the high heat symbol. So it means it's going to go to 160 degrees, and we're going to get sizzle. May not be able to hear it over my custard, but here we go. So I'm just going to turn that on too. And I have custard. Oops, it's going to be noisy. How are you doing?
Sorry,
You're
cutting out a bit. Yep, I'm ready to go.
You're ready. Wonderful. Okay. We'll come over to you.
Okay. So my machine has stopped, and the next step was to remove the cinnamon stick, which I already did. I'm glad I did because it took me a minute to try and find it at the bottom there. So next step is, now this is where my recipe gets a little bit tricky because we've substituted a lot of things. Mandy was very generous to for me what she had. So it's 50 grams of cognac and 50 grams of Cointreau. So Mandy had some Cointreau and we're substituting the cognac for some port. So I'll pop that in. Brandy, sorry about that. Brandy. Knew I'd get it wrong. And next we can add 50 grams of port. So it says white port, but if you can't find white port, red is fine. Or 50 grams of sherry. Now, I actually forgot to go to the shop today to have a look for some port. So I did have sherry in the cupboard, so that's what I'm popping in. 50 grams of sherry. I'm just using a sweet sherry. It'll just add to the sweetness of all of this, which will be yummy. And I'm just going to put my lid back on. This is just going to mix up for a minute. And while that's doing that, I'll just show you what the next step is. So it says to put 2 unwaxed oranges quartered into a bowl, ready to then pour all of the mixture into this. And once you've done that, you need to just steep it for a couple of minutes and then you can serve it. So if you don't like having any of the pulp or anything in your drink, you can strain it through your basket. So that's probably what I will do, because I don't think I like to eat orange pith in my drink. So that's what I'm going to do. Once this is finished, I'll pour this into my oranges. I'll let it steep for a couple of minutes and then I will serve it into my glass and I'll show you what it looks like.
Well, thank you very much. And I know she's not on tonight, but my amazing neighbour Kelly, she provided the oranges. Not that she gave me a whole bag.
You know what? My neighbour came over today with a great big bag of oranges. So
off somebody's tree. Just amazing.
Yes. So I've used your oranges anyway. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. All right, we are moving to Pearl.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Pearl.
Hi, Mandy. Hi, everyone. And today I'm making a dish which complements Helen's drink. So I'm making a dip, a roasted red pepper and cashew dip. This is good for Christmas, especially because when you have guests over and you run out of entree or snacks, you can make this because it takes you less than 5 minutes to get it done. So I'll show you. I'm making an American version, so which is in ounces, and you'll see that my Thermomix turns into ounces.
It's quite bright on the screen, so we can't actually see the ounces.
Then maybe I'll put off the light. Hopefully it'll work. Is it better?
Oh, no, that's worse.
That's worse? Okay, then. Oh.
Pearl, just try, just go to your screen on your Thermomix. So go to your settings and just drop your brightness down. Just try that, you see that helps.
I have to make it bright because I'm blind, I can't see.
So just drop it down, maybe it'll make it easier to see from our end. But
so let's see, what is the display? No, brightness is very low. It's very low. So I don't know why it's...
Mandy, which recipe is she making? I can just find it on Cookie Do.
It's the roasted red capsicum.
Yes, roasted red capsicum with cashew.
Okay, let me find it and I'll post it.
Is it still bright?
It is, but start it and let's see how we go.
Okay.
That's the go.
Okay, now just at the bottom, if you see, there are hints and tricks. If you read that, it says for a thicker version, drain peppers onto a paper towel before using it in the recipe. It also tells you that there are roasted red pepper cans available, or you can get jars. And jars is better because you can reuse the jars. They are preserved in oil and other marinades. So you can decide whatever you want, experiment and find your preference. Okay, or you can roast your own. So what I have done, I didn't have too many red peppers in the house. So I substituted mine with sun-dried tomatoes. So let me start cooking. 1 garlic clove. So I'm putting 2 garlic cloves because I like a little bit of garlic in mine. And I've got these 2 big garlic cloves. Place them in. Next, Parmesan cheese. It tells me 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese cut into cubes. So it's a little over, it's 3 ounces, that's fine, because I used up whatever I had. Next, some parsley. Insert the measuring cup. So this is start to finish, I'm doing it. So 5 seconds on speed 7. So it's telling me 12 ounces of roasted red peppers, which I'm putting here. So 12.1 ounces. Some olive oil, half an ounce of olive oil. Next, little salt, half a teaspoon of salt. Next, insert the measuring cup. Next, for 10 seconds on speed 6. Now 5.5 ounces of raw cashews. So I've got some nice cashews. I brought them from Goa actually on my last trip. Okay, so here, insert measuring cup. So for 1 minute on speed 4.
I can see a Hallen's punch sitting in the bowl. It's looking pretty good.
It tastes good too.
Difficult to see when we can't see how many minutes
No.
we have to have this.
And she probably can't hear us depending on the speed.
Probably
I'm
can't.
sure it's not too far away.
So the top speed of the Thermomix is 10,700 RPMs, which is the same as a small jet engine. So when you're blending, it does sound like it's going to take off, but it won't. They're just general rules around blending too. Not that Pearl was blending particularly, but if it's hot, then you turn up slowly from speed 5. You don't go straight to speed 10. If it's a cold blend, you can go straight to speed 10. Ooh, look at that.
What I've got. And how easy was that? So you've got,
Absolutely.
yes, you can easily make this at home while somebody's there.
It's all about taste, Pearl. You've got to give us a verdict.
Okay, sure. It is nice. I'm going to grind it a little more because they are a little more chunky. I want them a little finer if you're eating it with crackers.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Thermomix. You can do whatever you like.
Whatever you like, true. And you can change the ingredients, do what you want, put anything extra you want, or whatever's left over in the house, use them. That's what the beauty of Thermomix is. So I'll plate it and I'll come back to you all later.
Thanks, Pearl.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm going to show you. I forgot to turn on my broccoli. I thought I turned it on, but I haven't. Anyway, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this or not, but we have the high heat happening, and it is starting to sizzle. So it does a bit of a turn, and then it sizzles. So that is starting to do its thing there. So apologies for that. Now it's doing a little bit of a turn again. But what has happened is that my custard's finished. So what it asked me to do, I've got custard in here, which I can't possibly tip because it's going to go all over my laptop, but you can just see a little bit there. The next thing I've got to do is pour a third of the custard straight over my chocolate. I'm guessing that's about a third. Okay, and stir until melted and smooth. So I'm just going to give this a good stir. And then I'm going to place whilst I keep stirring this, we'll get this going. So now it's asking me to put the mixing bowl back with the remaining custard into position. And then I'm going to add 70 grams of natural smooth peanut butter. So as well as making the peanut brittle this morning, I made peanut butter. Here's the peanut butter. So it's super simple. It is that was just roasted salted peanuts. In the recipe, it asks you to add peanut oil, but you don't need it. You can see how you can, but you know, it doesn't need oil. It's perfectly fine the way it is. So I'm just going to tear that. I've got something touching the back there. That's probably what that. Put my 70 grams in. Oops, just throwing peanut butter everywhere. There we go. And popping the lid back on again, and it's just going to mix up for 10 seconds. So I've got my chocolate one here and the peanut butter one's happening in there. Smells good. All right, immediately pour peanut butter and chocolate custards into 4 small serving glasses. I'm only going to serve up one at the moment. But I might do that off screen. So I might get, we might go over to Helen, if Helen's ready, to show us how she's going over there. Okay.
Yep, so my wine has been steeping in my oranges. So I have one served up here, which I've been sipping away at. All I did was I just used my soup ladle. I have a little bit of orange in my glass. Oops. And I'm just going to pour it in my glass. And that's all you need to do to serve it. Now, this is like a mulled wine, and I've just had a look up on Google just to see how long it will actually last, because you're actually using a whole bottle of wine. So Google says that you can allow it to cool completely, then put it into a storage container, pop it into the fridge for up to 3 days. And you can reheat it. So I'm going to do that because I'm probably the only one that's going to drink this, and I'm not going to drink it all in one night. So what I'm going to do with it is pop it in the fridge. I have 3 days to drink it, but I can take a little bit out at a time, pop it back into my Thermomix and use the warm-up mode and reheat it so I can drink it.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you've got your alcohol sorted for the weekend.
I have.
Yeah, and does it taste good?
It does, actually. I like mulled wine, so yeah, I actually really like it, but my husband doesn't, so.
All right, so that's you for the weekend, right? Wonderful. Okay, now let's go back. Wendy, are you ready to show us anything? Or we can go to Pearl. We can go to Pearl, actually. Let's go to Pearl, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I've done. This is my dip. And
Yeah.
see the quantity that I've got. I can fill
Oh
it
my
and take it
gosh,
to the party.
that's
So I've got
amazing.
a container full.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And now
Well
I'll just
done.
show you the turbo mode. I've got some on the blades, and I'll just show
Yeah.
you how to clean it up. So I'm just going to push all this down. So you slide down the side, you've got turbo here. Press on that. The highlighted ones, y'all can't see my screen. So, and to come out of this mode, you just press the home button and then it opens. Otherwise the Thermomix will not open. If you can see.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah, clean blades.
Yeah, so that's the way. And just for 1 second, everything has come off the blades.
That's fantastic. Thanks for showing us that, Pearl. That's great. Now, Wendy.
Okay, we're all done here. So I've got my red wine dew. It did ask for me to strain with a fine sieve, and I've got the residue with the onion and the shallots, and it smells really nice. So I've actually poured it onto the finished product. I've actually got some little roast potatoes there, and I've made a keto cauliflower and Brussels sprout with some cheese and cream.
Wow, that looks incredible. That's definitely going on the list for the next dinner party, I think.
I'll probably do my steak less cooked next time. So it's probably a little bit overdone for me, but the kids would like that.
Yeah, no, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, so over to me, and my broccoli's just finished cooking. So there's the broccoli, a few little toasted almonds on there, and this is the custard. So you can see I've got the 2 layers there, and I would put the brittle on, but I think what needs to happen, the custard really needs to go into the fridge. If I put my brittle on now, it's gonna just melt. So, but that is what you would do, and I will make sure I keep one of these and decorate it properly, and send that when I send out a follow-up email with you all, so you get the recording and everything. So that's really our Christmas in July, the difference class. Oh gosh, I think I've open covered that way. That's no good. But by the way, that box on top is full of jars to reuse, to refill, and that's one of the wonderful things about Thermomix, is that we can make all our own things. So we can make our tomato sauces, we can make our we had poor Irene was out in the garden or out in the laundry making Worcestershire sauce a few weeks ago, but there's all these amazing sauces that we can make that we can use glass for, rather than getting plastic bottles from the supermarket. So first of all, I want to thank the team very much for all making their dishes, and I hope you all enjoy eating them, and Helen drinking them. I hope that Helen survives the weekend. all that punch. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming along. Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you. Just I've talked about, next month's host reward is going to be the blade cover peeler. Let me just grab that. So this is the blade cover peeler. That's what is used for peeling your potatoes and things, and it's also used when you're using, if you're sous videing or you are slow cooking, just to give volume in the bowl, because obviously when you slow cook meat, it gets very soft, and if you didn't have this in there, then it would shred your meat. I mean, that's a good thing sometimes, but not when you're slow cooking. And also a little book. It's all about the modes, with a little ebook which comes out about that too. So that's good. So I know what gift with purchase is, so that's all right. We have another couple of classes coming up. So on Wednesday the 13th of July, we have what's called an Easy Essentials class, which is great for newbies, great for people who've been around for a while, great for people who just want to see what the Thermomix can do. In that class, we whip cream, we make butter, we make buttermilk bread, we saute onions, we make mayonnaise, and we make a coleslaw. So they're all, you know, sort of basic things, but they there's always some great tips that come out of that. And the lovely Irene, next on the 17th, Sunday the 17th of July at 4 p.m. is going to do a masterclass on making tarts. She's been doing a couple of courses, and as we know, anyone who's been on with Irene presented before, you know how thorough she is, and perfectionist that she finally admits to. And it will be an amazing class to come along to. So I'll put those links in the email when I send that out. And of course, if any of you like what you've seen tonight and you want to join the team and present, we'd love to have you. And even if you just want to guest present too, we'd love to have you too. We had Kelly a couple of weeks back. She presented, did a guest present, did a great job. It's just a bit of fun, you know, getting up here, showing us what you can do, and sharing it with other people. So thank you all so much for coming. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to come off mute or pop them in the chat. And we'll look forward to seeing you hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Mandy, if you just want to swap the screen over for a second, I'll just highlight what we'll be covering off. So that
hold on.
Get a bit more
Hold on. Okay.
No worries.
There you go.
Hi, everyone. So we will be doing, I've had the pleasure of going along to a class with Kirsten Tibbles. Kirsten Tibbles is a chef that you'll see on MasterChef. So she's done a tart class that I attended this week, and we'll be learning a fair bit from that, including, you know, how to shape, you know, to get your perfect, you know, your perfect shells through here. A couple of the dishes we made was the beautiful, I guess, the lemon meringue pie, which looks amazing. And we also did this gorgeous Madagascar. So it's a almond raspberry tart with the chocolate ganache. So these are the sorts of things we want to excite you about. We'll be doing those in July. So come along. Mandy's going to be helping me. She's going to make an almond base. So she'll show you, I guess I'll show you how to do, and then she'll repeat, so then we can compare.
Mandy's been dogged in tonight, and Mandy's not a perfectionist.
So you know what, it's about showing you that it is really easy to do once you get the right thickness out. So I'm really excited to share what I've learned, and I've got one more class with her just before that happens, so we'll see how we go. But definitely you know, get excited. These you know, I'm really excited to share these. So we were going to do this tonight, but we figured it would be easier for me to spend a bit more time converting. There's quite a few steps in some of these dishes. So I want to simplify it so that it's something that you can repeat at home without necessarily having, you know, she uses glucose and inverted sugar and all sorts of other things. So we're going to try and simplify it so that you're excited to be able to do it from ingredients that you can get from the supermarket rather than having to shop halfway around Melbourne to get things. So the main thing, though, I will say is you'll see a little picture of these perforated, you can probably see the holes in that little, I guess in the ring that she uses. That does help. So these perforated rings give you that perfect, I guess, crispiness that you can get outside of the shell. I am going to try it with a normal ring to see whether or not there's things I can do to try and improve it. Fingers crossed, we'll see how we go, but you might have to invest in a couple of things, but we'll see how we go. So looking forward to doing that. What did we agree with the date? I think it was at the 19th?
The 17th.
17th.
Sunday the 17th, yeah.
Sunday the 17th of July. So keep your time free. I don't think we've confirmed a time yet, have we?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, there you go.
Yep.
All right, so looking forward to seeing you all there.
Yeah, and just to prove I can make a tart.
She did an amazing tart.
And that was that's a gluten-free one. So that was vegan prosciutto and some sort of cheese, but I can't remember what cheese it was because it won't be goat's cheese because Andrew doesn't like it. But anyway, so we'll look forward to sharing that with you and the Easy Essentials class. So thanks, guys, for coming along. And as I said, any questions, please ask. Thanks, Jenny. Glad you came.